Hello everyone and welcome to ZP Productions, and today will be another unboxing of a new IEM, and this is a budget one. This is the Tangzu Xuan Nv, or in their own terms is Xuan Nv. I don't know why they use NV not NU or something like that, but doesn't matter. I read it as Xuan Nv for Tangzu's IEM. Now this is a brand new set sent to me by Linsoul for the purpose of this review, thanks to them. And we'll not waste any time and we'll start unboxing this, try it out and compare it. Now for comparison, I will take out another budget IEM. I mean, recently I have been reviewing many IEMs and stuff because they are more convenient, right? So I'll be comparing against this. This is the 02 from 7Hz, very well known and budget and really good. The CN-E is slightly more expensive. The exact price I'll put it on the screen. It is definitely more in the general consumer purchasable range. But let's not waste time and let's do an unboxing and take a look at what's inside and try it out. Okay, this is the box, and I think my IEM just dropped inside. Oh, yes, it dropped inside. So, unfortunate, wasn't the nicest unboxing, but this is the CN-E itself. Now, this is a dual DD style of IEM. This is very similar, I believe, to Chronicle's Red, I think. The Truth here is Red, right? Yeah, I think it's very similar to that in terms of style, dual DD, and this one I would say is the build quality is really nice. I mean, take a look at this. I mean, let me zoom in a little bit more to let you guys see this. The build quality is superb for a budget IEM, like really good. I mean, there are some flaws here, unfortunately. They can be wiped away most likely, yeah, but if not, really superb build. Yeah, there's some flaws here. I mean, this looks like tape and stuff. You can probably wipe it away later. But the build is really nice, and you can see the faceplate is also really good. Now, in terms of nozzle wise, this seems to be a mid-sized nozzle, and this one looks like a fine mesh. I know the mesh is not the nicest way to put it on, but I guess it will work out for the price. And this is a relatively big, tip itself. I will probably have to take a smaller tip. Oops. Now, let's put this on the table and then let's see what else inside. Okay, so based on this, you can see there's other tips. I think this is the Sunshine tip. I actually want to try this. I mean, these are actually Tangzu's premium tips, and now I have a free set of it. Funny thing is, I remember I purchased the previous one, they didn't give these tips. I mean, I got the 武则天 and I don't remember they gave these tips, and this is like the premium tips. So let me take the premium tips out. From my understanding, the white ball tips, which is this one, is better than these balanced tips, but no, I will just try it out. Maybe for today's comparison, I'll just try the white ball tips because based on a lot of reviews, the white ball tips are actually better. Then I think there's this cable case, so let's take a look at this. What's inside? Okay, this is the cable. As expected, nothing too premium, relatively normal looking cable for its price. And you don't get a hard case, you get a soft case that you can just put the pouch inside. This one reminds me of really Truth Year's 0, exact same case style. I don't really like this case, but you know what? If you're using a cheap IEM, I think this is fine. Okay, now with all that out of the way, I will change the tips now, and in 3, 2, 1. So this is the CN-E after not putting the white ball tips on, and this is how they look like. So pretty nice, pretty small. Overall, I think at least from the visual department, it looks darn good. So without wasting time, let's put on the cables and try it out. Okay, I got the cable in, and I think one side was way tighter. I mean, the right side was really tight. Now this cable is a very interesting material. I mean, it feels like rubber. It's like twisted cables. You can see I untwist this. Just take a look at this. Untwist this. and then twist it back. So it is interesting cable, rubbery in nature, relatively strong. I would say that, you know, it's not like so cheap like the, you know, the 02 here from 7Hz. This is really cheap ass cable. This is at least significantly more premium looking, even more premium than the Truth Year 0 rate. So I guess, you know, for the price, it's pretty decent for this cable itself. Now this is purely a single-ended as expected for a earphone of this price range. I wouldn't judge it. So without wasting time, let's try this IEM out. For the purpose of the initial impression, I will of course use my M17, and this is an IEM meant to be a little bit more budget. I will not use any amplification, just the M17 itself to just get an initial impression. I mean, the M17 itself is an overkill. Most likely you would use it with, like say, an Apple dongle, but I thought, you know, just give it the best chance it has, but, you know, not to the extent of taking out my M's and specialized decks to try it out. So without wasting time, let's hear my usual song, which is Ibarra. So my initial impression is that this is a slightly mid-forward IEM. The bass-wise, surprisingly not a lot. I mean, compared to modern IEMs, I think this is a pretty much tamed bass. It is not, at least in my impression, not as much as many modern bassy IEMs, especially those tuned by Clinical itself. It is a little bit more balanced. However, I like this IEM for a few reasons. Firstly, the mids are focused and forward. It has quite a bit of clarity, quite a lot of power to it, but the mids have a little bit nasally sound. Not a big deal. I mean, I'm pretty okay with the nasal sound. And most importantly, it has no sibilance. Very limited sibilance. The highs for Ibarra wise, nothing. There's not much instruments with highs in this song, but I did notice that there's no sibilance, and the high seems a bit quite tamed. Maybe I'll try with another track to really understand better. But at least with Ibarra, no sibilance, very nice, very smooth vocals, especially for like Edo, and still really clear. The bass may not be the punchiest nor the deepest, but actually for the amount it's giving, I think I'm pretty happy. So without wasting time, let's try the second song. And this time I want something with probably a little bit more treble. So maybe, you know, Shatter Me. So Shatter Me has insert at the start with some bells and a little bit more treble instrument. I think it's quite nice. It is actually quite a lot of treble. The roll-off is not the exact smoothest, so it extends quite far and it's quite high. But it is quite nice still, you know. It's not like very harsh or anything. And there's still no sibilance really, even in a song like Shatter Me. Now, Shatter Me is also very known for the violin part of things. There is this violin player that will start playing. I think on this, it sounds really powerful and a little bit forward. Now, the vocals on Shatter Me still sounds a little bit nasally, and this is a little bit focused. Soundstage doesn't sound really big for this particular track and this particular IEM. So, you know, I need to try one more track that is more famous for, I'll say, a soundstage before I can come to a conclusion on that. And then for the bass-wise, there is the punch, there is the feeling, but I just cannot get over that it's not like the most and not the punchiest. But you know, I have to try it, especially compared with the 7Hz 02 to really know better. But let's try one last song, and I think for that song I will hear Comet by Ari Anjo, my friend. Now, Comet is a song that is very airy, and that's because of the way Ari sang this cover. So I really love it, and I always use it as my test track. So I've heard Ari Anjo's cover of Comet, and I want to say a few things first. Now, this track is something that my friend produced herself. I do know that there are some recording flaws in certain areas, and it is really clear. At least when it comes to details for such things, this IEM is pretty good. Clarity is still very nice. The vocals is quite powerful and upfront and a little bit nasally still, but very minimal for Ari's voice. But I did notice that the soundstage is not really huge. I mean, it is a center focus and then it spreads out, but it spreads out and it dies off really fast. So it is not the most airiest sound you can get, nor the widest sound you can get, at least for a female vocal itself. Now for the pianos, they play, I think they are very nice and balanced, very smooth. So at least for this price, I really cannot complain too much. Now, before I actually, end this, let me compare one song with this IEM, and I always would like to use Ibarra because of how the track is like. I'll just listen to this for a short moment, then I'll switch over to 7Hz, and then come to a conclusion whether this is actually worth the price. Without wasting time, let me take a listen. So I have tried both IEMs out together now, and is the CN-E better than the 02? Well, the price is better, but is it an upgrade or is it somewhat different? I can tell you that it's an upgrade, but there are a few things that you need to note. Firstly, the CN-E is a bit more forward sounding for the mids itself, so the vocals sound actually closer. And the bass itself is clean on the CN-E, but it's not as much in quantity. In fact, the 7Hz actually feel like there's more quantity, but the quality of the bass, I think the CN-E is slightly better. It's just tighter, while the 02 is more quantity, more bass, more sub bass for the same volume of vocals. And when it comes to vocals, I do find that the 7Hz just have a touch more energy, and as I said, CN-E, if you actually compare, there's a slight nasally sound, but there are some goodness in the CN-E's vocal. Firstly, it's smoother. It is, I would say, as focused and then dispersed really nicely, while the 02 is just like energetic and flat. So that's a difference, at least when it comes to vocals. And then when it comes like the guitar sound itself, I think the CN-E has more bite to the guitar. You can hear it, it's more clear. And I also noticed that the 7Hz, when actually all the instruments start coming in, where the vocals come in, the guitar come in, and then all the other sound come in, the synthesizer sound, the track, the vocals, everything, come together. It is very messy on the 7Hz. But not so on the CN-E. The CN-E is actually nicely separated within all of them. Yes, the soundstage isn't huge. It's still not the airiest sound you can get, not the biggest sound you get, not the separated sound that you can get from higher quality IEMs. But it is actually really good, way better than the 7Hz 02. Now, the thing is it truly a lot better? I would say it's better. It's definitely an upgrade, a next step up. But you can choose to still stay on the 7Hz 02 if you want to. But if you just want a little bit more quality in every single aspect, except if you want an energetic vocal, I think the 02 is still better. Or if you want more bass, the 02 is still better. Everything else, CN-E is better. It is better. But it is not like to the extent that I will straight away ask you to go out and buy it, because at this price point, the CN-E is definitely one of the best performers. By the way, I have also the Truth Year 0 rate. I think the 02 is better than the 0 rate. So it means that the CN-E is also better than the 0 rate, which puts it at a sub $100 point, one of the better IEMs I have tried so far. Now, I have to honestly say I didn't try a lot of sub $100 IEM. I have tried IEMs to $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $8,000. But if I was to put this in comparison with something like the Aurora or the Variation, yes, those are better, but actually the gap is even smaller between these two. The gap between these two is actually larger than the gap between this and, say, the Variation. Yes, that one has probably better clarity, better soundstage, better bass, but overall I think some people may just want to use this because it is like a quarter of the price or a fifth of the price. So don't think that, I'm not saying like this is darn good of an upgrade if you own the 7Hz. I'm saying that this is still better. The gap is there. But if you like the sound signature of this, you may still want to remain on it. But if you don't mind the sound signature, or at least whatever I said doesn't really matter to you, I think the CN-E is all around better than the 7Hz 02. And as such, it's also better than the Truth Year 0 rate. And to me, this is the best sub $100 IEM that I've tried so far. And if you own this, upgrading it further will probably need you to go up to the Aurora, I think the new IO Velour, or maybe the new Dusk Blessing Tree, or even like say the Variation. Those are better, but they cost like 5 times more. Of course, there's Tier Audio 2, the old Monarch 2, or maybe something. Those are all upgrades, but they cost 8 times the price of this. or 6 times the price of this. So you are getting quite a good value for a sub $100. And the best part, if you are very sensitive to sibilance like me, where you can even hear sibilance in the earphone like this has no sibilance. Really nice, really smooth. If you are sensitive to sibilance, this is the sub $100 IEM I recommend. It is really no sibilance, really smooth, really nice, especially with this tip. I can totally recommend this for sub $100 listening if you are sensitive to those things. Overall, I think that this is a very good showing from Tangzu, and considering the price and they give you good tips too, I think overall it's a very nice package. Now, tips you can always change. I do think that the biggest downside of this is the markings on the shell just now. It wasn't as pristine as I would like it to be, even though it's a brand new opening. But other than that, the shell is nice, the faceplate is good, the tips are good, the cable is actually not that bad, way better than whatever I've seen below $100. Really don't have much complaints. For this price, maybe a better case, I don't know. The cheapest plastic case will still be better than that cloth case. But other than that, no complaints. I highly recommend this for a sub $100. I'll do a full review in the future where I have more time, and during my full review, I will actually use proper amplification to see whether it gets better. I'll change the tips to see whether it gets better. I may even compare it to $500, $1,000, $2,000, and $5,000 IEMs to see whether is there a difference. But till then, you know, for my initial impression of this IEM is pretty worth it for a sub $100 IEM. Once again, this is provided to me by Linsoul, and if you're interested, do visit their website to purchase it. They did not pay me any money, did not do anything for me, they just provided me this IEM, and I produced these videos to let you guys know. And I will also post a review in Hi-Fi soon, because I think that, you know, this IEM is kind of worth it to write a review, and it's pretty nice. So till the next time, I'll see you guys again. Bye bye.